You did everything for her, you were loyal, supportive, consistent, and present. You gave her the words she said she wanted to hear, the attention she claimed she needed, and the sacrifices you thought would prove your love. Yet one day she pulled away. Maybe she left quietly, maybe she walked out during an argument, maybe she simply grew distant until you felt her absence more than her presence. And now you're sitting there, replaying every memory, every conversation, asking yourself that same haunting question, why wasn't I enough? That question eats at men, because we believe effort guarantees loyalty. But here's the hard truth most men avoid: it was never about how much you did for her. It was about who you were when you did it. Women don't stay loyal to your effort. They stay loyal to how they feel in your presence. And if you don't understand that, you'll keep repeating the same cycle, giving everything, losing yourself, and ending up with nothing. So let's break this down. Let's strip away the illusions and uncover the one thing women are truly loyal to. Because once you get this, not only will you stop asking, why wasn't I enough? You'll realize you always were enough, you just weren't showing up in the right way. First, women are loyal to how you make them feel about themselves. This isn't about manipulation, it's about emotional reality. She doesn't remember every gift, every date, every promise, but she never forgets how she felt standing beside you. Did she feel calm, seen, and safe? Or did she feel pressure, tension, and the weight of your neediness? When your love comes from fear, she doesn't feel cherished, she feels cornered. Modern psychology has a name for this: anxious attachment. Studies show that when men cling too tightly or seek constant reassurance, women subconsciously associate them with instability, not safety. So what's the fix? Stop being emotional support in the sense of leaning on her to hold you up. Start being emotional gravity, the steady force that keeps her grounded. Imagine two men, one panics when she pulls back, sending long texts, over-explaining, begging to fix things. The other stays calm, doesn't chase, doesn't crumble. Which man does she feel safer with? Exactly. Safety is not words, it's presence. Second, women are loyal to men on a mission. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine built his life around his girlfriend. She was his world, his plans, his hobbies, even his career choices revolved around her. At first, she loved the attention. But slowly, she pulled away. Why? Because she felt like she was dating a shadow. He had no fire of his own. Women don't want to be your mission, they want to walk beside you while you pursue one. Evolutionary psychology backs this up. Across cultures, women are most attracted to ambition and drive, not because they want your money or status, but because ambition signals strength and survival. When you stop chasing her and start chasing purpose, she looks at you differently, not as a boy desperate for her approval, but as a man building something larger than himself. That's magnetic. Third, women are loyal to boundaries, not pleasing. Think about your last relationship. How many times did you bend your standards to avoid conflict? How many times did you say yes when you wanted to say no? Each time you did, you thought you were keeping the peace, but in reality, you were losing her respect. Here's a paradox: women test boundaries not because they want to destroy them, but because they want to trust them. When she sees you enforce your standards calmly but firmly, she feels secure. But when you bend every time, she subconsciously feels like she's leading, not following. Deep down, every woman wants to know, is this man unshakable? Can he hold the line when emotions run high? If the answer is yes, she respects you more. If the answer is no, attraction dies. Fourth, women are loyal to masculine energy, not unchecked emotion. This doesn't mean being cold or silent. It means having clarity, certainty, and direction. Too many men mistake vulnerability for emotional dumping. They turn their girlfriends into therapists, unloading every insecurity. But when she becomes your emotional authority, the polarity dies. Masculine energy doesn't silence emotion, it channels it. It says, I feel this, but it does not control me. Research on polarity in relationships shows attraction thrives on differences, masculine presence and feminine flow. When you lose polarity by over-explaining and oversharing, you blur that line, and attraction fades. So what's the final truth tying all of this together? She is not loyal to the man who did the most. She is loyal to the man who made her feel the deepest. Safe. Alive. Feminine. Inspired. That man doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't over-explain. He builds, he leads, he becomes. And here's the twist, when you stop doing everything for her and start doing everything for yourself, your body, your purpose, your discipline, she naturally wants to give you more. Because women are drawn to men who don't need them but still choose them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." Most men never truly live because they're enslaved to approval, afraid to walk alone, afraid to stand firm, afraid to demand respect. But here's your moment. Will you keep living as the man who overgives and undercommands respect? Or will you become the man who attracts loyalty without chasing it? Let's go deeper with a scenario. Imagine two men in a breakup. The first man texts constantly, begs for closure, promises to change. The second man thanks her for the time, walks away with dignity, and doubles down on his mission. Who do you think she rethinks months later? Exactly. Dignity leaves a deeper mark than desperation. And here's another scenario, she's testing you in public, raising her voice, throwing small jabs. Do you match her emotion, or do you calmly hold your ground and set the line? One creates chaos. The other creates respect. And respect is the soil where attraction grows. This isn't about games, it's about self-mastery. Because when you master yourself, you master relationships. So let me leave you with this, stop asking, why wasn't I enough? Start asking, am I living as the man I know I can be? Because the moment you shift that question, everything changes. She's not your prize, your purpose is. And when you pursue it relentlessly, you stop chasing love and start attracting it naturally. If this message hit you, then you belong with us here in the Stoic Circle, a community of men who reject weakness, embrace purpose, and choose strength over validation. Subscribe now and join this brotherhood, because your journey doesn't start someday, it starts today. This is the Stoic, and your new life begins now.